was that Brahmachari Sahadev?
Yeah.
He traveled. Do you know whatever happened to him?
He went to New Vrindavan. I think he's been there for many years.
He's still there?
Possibly.
Wow. What a time that was. I mean, at that time, wasn't it the largest community in ISKCON? In that big house?
It was just before they bought Watseka.
Right. Right. Yeah, what a time. Yeah, you have some very funny memories of traveling party.
Yeah.
You remember we stopped and bought a pickup truck in New Mexico? I think Las Cruces, New Mexico.
A pickup truck?
Yeah, we were driving from Texas to LA, the West Coast, and we stopped in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I remember telling you that it was like really interesting. Ross had a New Mexico license plate. And we just stopped. We just stopped in Las Cruces. I just went into a dealer and just drove out with a car.
We had that bus with the back end, crooked back end.
You called it the dog walker.
Yeah. Scratched 5 cars going down the street, parked cars. When we got to the end of the street, I was afraid to leave, to be a hit and run culprit. Didn't know what to do, and you said, Satsvarupa, you can't close your eyes and believe you're back in Boston. We have to do something.
I said that?
Yeah. So we put notes on the windshields of all the cars saying, I'm sorry we scratched your cars. Here's the number of our insurance agent.
I remember that I have this memory of one of the cars, the owner came out. He was really angry. And he was an off-duty policeman. And they called our police in, and I remember, yeah, and you had, or someone had this little slip of paper with the name of our insurance company. It's like a little piece of paper, and no one answered the phone. You know, it had the phone.
Yeah.
And then you know what we did after? Of course, you remember what we did after that?
No.
We had an H.D.Goswami. Like you called an H.D.Goswami. What are we going to do now? So we decided we have to get rid of this bus. So we drove to St. Louis.
Yeah, sold it to Vamanadeva.
Well, Vamanadeva, he could, like they say, he could sell ice to an Eskimo, and so he, yeah, he took it, and he took it from us, and he sold it. And that was the end of the bus. Because I remember we first met up in St. Louis, and you had a party. You were going around and to down Midwest cities, downtown, selling back to Godhead.
Yeah.
Kirtan.
You said I was the Eugene V. Debs of ISKCON because I like to minister to the poor, lower classes, selling back to Godheads. You had greater things in mind.
I said that, Eugene V. Oh my God, I certainly was a little outspoken. And I remember even before, when I was temple president in
Houston?
yeah, and that's when you were starting Gurukula in Dallas.
Yeah.
I was going to see you there. Yeah, and you were, I mean, from that time, you really became associated with Gurukula. And Diva and Gitanagari went to Gurukula.
Yeah.
Were you ever like the education minister?
No.
Well, and then Prabhupada sent that Mohananda back to Dallas.
Yeah.
Wasn't the first Gurukul in that house in Turtle Creek or something?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was run by Prabhupada's disciple Aniruddha
Aniruddha, yes.
and Chai Devi.
Was that his wife?
No, that was the wife of Balabhadra, the cow minister.
Oh, Chaya Devi, of course,
Yeah.
Chaya Devi, right. What times?
And then you became GBC of South America and wildly covered all the countries. If your plane got cancelled to one place, you just looked up on a screen and picked out another country and went there.
My usual patience. Yeah, you took over the library party when I went to Latin America.
Yeah.
Was that your main engagement then?
It was, with Ganesham and Mahabodhi as the leading salespersons.
Yeah. Oh, Krishna. It really is dramatic, isn't it, how time passes?
Yeah.
Especially when you meet someone that you know very well from the past, and then you can dramatically see how, as the Buddhists say, how everything's changing in this world. But not everything, of course, they're wrong about that point.
Yeah, but a lot changes.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, really, one just has to cling to Krishna and one's own soul in relation to Krishna.
Yeah.
Of course, you must remember those pictures, those picture prizes from Boston. When someone would sell a book.
We give them a picture.
For Prabhupada, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because the press was there, and I remember I got all the. I come to your room almost every day and get a prize, get a picture of Prabhupada. It's like if you sold a big book, like a Gita, then you got a picture. How is it that you became president of Boston? Was that Prabhupada's decision?
Yeah, at first Damodar was president, but then he came to me and said he wanted to go back to New York to his wife. So I was placed as president.
So did Prabhupada decide that?
Yeah.
Didn't Damodar end up in Washington? Wasn't he president of Washington?
Yeah.
So when you took over Boston, was it in something called Glen Street or
Glenville Avenue,
Glenville Avenue?
little storefront.
And then Giriraj joined.
Giriraj joined, yeah. From Brandeis University.
It was in Boston that I saw snow for the first time in my life.
What?
In Boston,
Yeah.
I arrived around May, and then that winter when it snowed, that was the first time in my life I'd ever actually been in snow.
Oh.
Yeah, and then actually, it was by your instruction that I married.
Oh.
You remember that?
Yeah.
I had wanted to open a center, and then it was decided somehow that I would go assist Nityananda. And he was in Rochester collecting, then he was going to go down to New Orleans to open New Orleans. So I came to say goodbye to you, and we talked. Yeah, I can still see it. I know just where we were sitting in your room there. And so we talked for a little while, and then I got up to go, and I think I had my hand on the doorknob. And he said, "Oh, Hridayananda, there's one more thing." And then I came back, and then you told me that there was a girl that, like, some of the seniors were always thinking that I could marry, and what did I think? I remember I said to you, I was trying to be surrendered soul. I remember I said, "Well, what do you think?" And you said, "I think it's a good idea." So that was it. That probably was a good idea, actually. I mean, I think ultimately, I can see that if I had taken, or anyone, you know, takes sannyas at a very young age without ever having actually married, one could imagine it to be something and
Yeah.
romanticize it, and so it was. I mean, I think it was definitely Krishna's arrangement. But yeah, that's how it happened. I was thinking of your Grihastha room up there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the battles that went on there. I remember you were, like, of course, you were always very humble, but one time I went up there, and and I think your books or furniture was being thrown around the room by your wife, and
Papers ripped up.
yeah. I remember I knocked on the door because I was a temple commander, and then you opened the door and very, very nicely and politely said, "Excuse me, Hridayananda, but I heard all this banging and slamming, and I can't slam the door." Yeah, the brahmacharis, I don't know about the householders, but in the Boston temple, we literally didn't own anything, not even shirts on our back. And they had that big divided box on a table, and the big shower room, and the big dressing room with a dressing room attached. And we would take a shower and then just, take some underwear, a kurta, dhoti, and socks. We didn't even own our own socks or underwear. And there was no brahmachari room. We would just, like, I used to sleep in the prasadam room all the time because I would lock the temple up at night. Remember those Jagannath, Subhadra, and Balaram in the windows down the prasadam room? But we were young, and it was fine. We didn't really, just sleep wherever you could find space, and we didn't own the clothes on our back. And we just served. That was a very happy life.
Going out to the Boston Commons.
Remember Giriraj, he'd always collect like 5 times as much as everyone else.
Yeah.
Every mother's son. I remember, like, I would go out, for a half hour, maybe make like 75 cents or something. I remember one time they sent me out in the winter. For me, I just went out. I thought I was supposed to go out. It's like a really cold winter day in Boston, and I was in the Commons, the entrance to the subway. People were coming out, or either they were rushing to get in from the cold down to the subway, or they're coming out, and I got totally shut out, like the Carmelites threw a no-hitter at me. I don't think I sold one magazine. It was kind of like, okay, I'm just doing this as a matter of duty, because obviously no one's going to stop. Oh. So you plan to stay here now?
Yeah, I've got a bad foot.
Oh.
I walk with a walker.
Oh, really?
I can't walk any distance.
Okay.
Surgical operations,
Oh my.
and it didn't heal.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck here. Slowly getting better. I take a 15-minute walk every day.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's significant. Yeah, you're from New York, so this is kind
It's
of
not unusual for me, the cold weather.
right. And the culture in general. I mean, there's a lot of people that come up from the city, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole world. The New York area or the Northeast. It really is a whole world.
They call this area around here the Bajan Belt.
Yeah, yeah. Someone was telling me that.
A lot of yogis and ashrams.
Yeah, we passed the Zen
Woodstock.
What's that? Woodstock, right?
Yeah.
I have a cousin in Woodstock. I just stopped there actually about 9 or 10 days ago. Woodstock is a scene, isn't it? I mean, it's people
Yeah.
go there and Dr. Mishra, isn't that somewhere in the general area where his ashram was, Dr. Mishra?
No, it was upstate New York.
Was it farther north from here?
I'm not sure.
Because I went there one time and I thought it was somewhere in this general area. But yeah, actually, in the state of New York City is really just like the extreme south, extreme southern point. Of course, one advantage of being in New York City is you're not too far from the Trump Towers and Atlantic Beach.
Oh, God.
It's really a threat to civilization. There must be riders that come up to this area.
I'm not sure. I don't meet any. Except the Bodhi riders.
And Danadark spent some time here.
Yeah, he has an apartment across the street. Now we've got Rabindra Swarup.
Yeah, that was a real catch. We're actually going to drive down to Old Saybrook, Connecticut, and then I'm going to New York because I have to testify in a court case,
Oh.
which may actually go on this time. It's been delayed so many times. That Long Island case. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
Check the time.
12:05.
Oh, right. Oh. Yeah, you've been so faithful to Prabhupada. It's something I really admire. Prabhupada's been the center of your life just ever since you met him.
Yeah. And I especially remember that first year in New York City with him at 26 Second Avenue.
Yeah, I used to pester you. We used to take prasad together in Boston. They'd tell me Prabhupada stories. I remember one story you told that I've repeated a lot, where you were doing the first fire sacrifice where a disciple could do it. And you said to Prabhupada, is there any instruction on how to do this? And Prabhupada said, shortcut.
Shortcut.
Yeah, you've very extraordinary devotion to Prabhupada. Of course, you did the Lilamrita, and now you just continue to write about Prabhupada. Someday I'll have some Yeah, the Lamrita has really been a pillar, sort of, of ISKCON.
Yeah. It's brought many devotees to ISKCON.
Yeah, and probably kept many of them too. Yeah, it was a great service you did. I mean, continue to do. We may actually have to drive down to Connecticut.
You have lunch scheduled across the street.
Oh, I do?
That's what I heard.
Oh. Jagannath, why don't you... Oh, you're recording.
Yes, just a little bit. It's a precious moment. What do you want me to do?
I guess maybe we'll go check because we have to get down to the south. But
Yeah.
it was really nice to see you. It's you were have been such a valuable, positive influence on me. I just pictured you again out of Harinam when you came back from LA.
Imitating Vishnu Jana.
Oh, and then you would also, another Vishnu Jana thing you did was between kirtans take around the water jug and...
Yeah.
What was it? Do you remember that there was in our Boston temple there was that one devotee who's like really big, sort of simple guy, really big. Name, I forget his name. He was really big.
Yeah.
You remember?
Fat?
Yeah. Sort of like really big, and he was really nice, simple.
I don't remember his name. I remember a devotee like that.
Yeah, that was quite a community. You had weight on the press. Is he still alive at Waita? Yeah.
I don't know. He's not in ISKCON.
One nice thing about going back to Godhead is that the communities will last, because one thing I've noticed, like, just in the time that I've been members of different temple communities or just visited them, where you have this sort of this really wonderful group of people, spiritual family, and then somehow everyone goes their own way. And
Yeah. The spiritual world, it won't be like that.
yeah, but the community lasts, and because I mean, there's probably nothing as, what's the word? I don't know, sublime in a sense as Krishna conscious community.
Yeah.
To be a community like a spiritual extended family, especially where people are like-minded and everyone shares the same purpose and the same dream and hope, and everyone is serving the same master. And
Yeah.
yeah, and there's nothing really more attractive to outside people to find a truly spiritual community. Oh well. Keep trying. Anyway, it was really nice to see you. I mean, it really was. And I guess, but you don't have to bother me, no. But I hope I'll see you again.
Yes, I
Not
hope
too
so.
long.
And I wish you well on your novel.
Yeah, thank you. I'll send you a copy, of course. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it was really nice to see you, and I feel grateful to you for. I mean, I feel like you've been one of the best influences on me.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hridayananda Maharaj.
too.